very close friends or family. It was all very nice until the bill arrived. Right? And then the bill arrived and someone said, I'll get this. And then I went, lady, no, I'll get this. And they started having this thing. And it became very clear to me that neither of them felt okay with the other person paying the bill. And I mean, I was maybe a bit sensitized to it, but it seemed to me that these two friends having a lovely time were involved in something quite violent about who could be the most generous. Has anyone been in or know that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can just start noticing, just like in the game, things you're able to do or not able to do, you can just start to notice what's my pattern when someone's turned to pay for something or receive, just to notice that, and again notice to something arise and just be curious about it. And what would it be like to just do something different, to sit with that discomfort? What would it be like if I'm always the first one in the pub to open my wallet to pay, because the idea that I might be stingy is so appalling that I'm always over generous? What would it be like to sit there and wait? Or if I'm always the last one, because actually I never want to let go of my money, what would it be like to buy a drink for everybody and just notice? It doesn't have to be a drink, right? So that's one thing, it's the games. Another very useful thing, well actually the second thing, you probably started finding it today, is simply what do you resonate with in other people. So there may be things that other people have said today, and somehow it touched you in some way. You know, you have resonance with it. And that's also then a gateway through their story, and that's why it's such a lovely thing to share these stories, right? Because we usually don't. So if something in someone else's story in some way moves or touches or provokes you, then there's more exploration for you to do. And the final thing for now, which we didn't really do, although we touched on a little bit, is kind of your biography with money. And particularly your childhood, but you don't have to end there. So sometimes some people on a workshop, maybe overnight, will actually do a timeline, where you start from born here, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, carry on, some of us have to carry on quite a long time. But, do your biography with money, and you can do that in different ways. You can think about, in my life, when was there money, when wasn't there money? But actually more important is think about, just like you did, Rosa, what are the strong memories or impressions you have around money in your childhood? And if you can, like an incident, so that was a beautiful example, not just in general, I remember we had lots of money or we didn't have lots of money or mum and dad worried about money. That will be part of it. But also, can you remember a particular situation that really captured you? And that's often a very, very good gateway into your detective mind. Does that make sense? So there's different ways in. And then the interesting question, if you do that, is do I then notice anything that might connect how I was in the game from what I remember about my family history, from what I think preoccupies me or what I find easy? Then you're really onto a thread. So I would commend that's all about becoming more conscious, and then when I notice what is my particular story that maybe keeps me more or less stuck. Well, the next side of it, which Cleona will talk about, the workshop we're going to run, is about, if you like, opening up to more possibilities. And I'm sorry to leave it on a teaser. It's not. I promise it's not a hammy sales technique to get you to the workshop. It's just not appropriate for us to get into that level of depth today.